We are live. All right. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a happy Hanukkah and a very Merry Christmas season. Let me stress that. Happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas. I don't say Happy Holidays. I say Happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas here on the American Patriots pad. So, I hope everybody is having a good time. Today on our panel, we have Wavo, and we have Ren, we have
Hi.
Stacy,
Yo.
we have Fox Hills,
Hello.
we have Crazy Horse,
Ho, ho, ho.
and we have the Son of Mars. Now,
Richard, because of the number of topics we have today,
yep,
I think it would be smart to keep a time limit on each topic.
yes.
What are you trying to say, Wavo? What are you trying to say? That I'm long-winded?
I'm saying Richard likes to talk too much.
Yes, I do. We've
Okay.
got five blocks for today's show. We're going to talk about 48 hours of terror and chaos that happened, of 4 different terror attacks.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about the update on the James Cameron lawsuit. We have what I am referring to as a 2 whiskey story coming from our very special guest of Ren. She's bringing us a news story that I'm letting you guys know you're going to need some whiskey for this one. Then,
When we need the spray bottle, just let us know.
yep, okay. Then
The only time we'll need the spray bottle is if Sig Balderson starts showing up and talks about pushing a certain pretty red button.
Well, with Ren's news story that we've got, I'm going to let him get away with it because, damn, it's
No.
bad story.
No, can't do it.
Then we have the John Carter of Mars TV show that's supposed to be getting made, which I'm looking forward to.
Amen.
Then
Preach.
we have our rest in peace moment of saying goodbye to Gil Gerard, a.k.a. Buck Rogers.
Moment of silence.
Then we will also be talking about Rob Reiner and the death of Greg Biffle, the NASCAR driver, and his family who was killed in an airplane crash today. And we will be ending our show talking about what Christmas means to us, what we hope Christmas will bring for ourselves and for those that we care about and love, i.e., all of you listening in. So, we've already introduced ourselves, so you know who's on our panel. Now, let us begin with the 48 hours of terror and chaos.
And be careful with your terminology on this one, because we are on YouTube and not Rumble.
Yes, I'm going to do my best. We had 4 terror attacks in a 48-hour period. Fortunately, one of those terror attacks was stopped in Germany. The German law enforcement was able to stop a terror attack on a Christmas market in Bavaria. For those of you who do not know what a Christmas market is, it is a section of town that is the street is closed off. It has kiosks and things of this nature where people come and they sell their wares, and it's all Christmas related. And the Christmas market, they've had to block off the roads because, well, Europe, they don't believe in the Second Amendment, and they greatly limit people's ownership of guns. But they don't limit things called trucks. Let that sink in for a minute. They don't limit people being able to go and rent big honking delivery trucks. This is where the phrase, what was it again? Truck of peace came from. Where jihadi terrorists would go and take a truck and drive it through crowds of people. But fortunately, the German law enforcement intercepted 4 or 5 Muslim men that was convinced to do this by, I think it was a Moroccan imam, to carry out a terror attack on a Christmas market there in Germany, and it was fortunately stopped. Everybody has heard about the shooting in Australia at Bondi Beach. What most people don't know was the shooting happened by a father and son team that was actually already being watched by the Australian federal law enforcement, because one of them was going to the Philippines and getting training at a jihadi camp. The shooting lasted for over 12 minutes, where these 2 men were using bolt-action rifles to evict people from their meat suits and send them to the next world. A very brave Muslim fruit vendor disarmed the father for one of those rifles. He was later, the vendor was later shot. Originally, it was reported that the police were the ones that shot him, but no, it was one of the shooters that shot him. Yep. This dude was extremely brave, and he had the bad guy in the sights of the gun. He beat the heck out of the dude and took away from him. But instead of pulling the trigger, he let him go, because the way the laws are there in Australia, that if he did pull the trigger, he was going to be going to jail for doing it.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, if it had been me, I would have pulled the trigger. I wouldn't have killed the dude. I would have put a bullet, or at least 2 bullets, through his hands so he couldn't use a gun again. But that's just me. We also had a terror attack in Syria, where 2 American soldiers and an American interpreter were killed. And there were other people injured there in Syria. And we all have also heard about the Brown University shooting, where a dude walks up to this, the vice president of the Republican Club there on Brown University, and shot her in the face. I've actually watched the videos of the people that were there for the study group that they were doing. The shooting happened during a study group meeting. Now, originally they said that they had a suspect in custody, which was this little thin white dude who had nothing to do with it.
Typical.
And Brown University has been losing their ever-loving you-know-what. Whenever people have asked questions about social media being scrubbed from one of the students who is a known pro-Palestinian political activist that was on campus, that the witnesses said is the one who did it.
Because heaven forbid we should ask questions.
Exactly. But this person is also
find out answers.
We've got rumors that are connecting this guy to the murder of an MIT professor, which is freaking me out. Back to the Bondi Beach shooting happened during a Jewish festival celebration.
Disgusting.
By Alice Lovely. So it was 48 hours of chaos and terror that really we're not getting a lot of decent information about tonight. You know, since this has all come out. Some of the stuff
Mhm.
is they're just not releasing the information, or worse, like in Australia, they're actually trying to blame it all on guns again.
Yep, completely obfuscating the situation. Now, with all due respect, and normally I tend to go last, but I'm sorry for interjecting in front of everybody. Tell me this kind of stuff isn't all coincidental.
I have a
Huh?
feeling that there is somebody that's coordinating this stuff.
Uh-huh.
I don't believe in coincidence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You are what I would like to say, Wavo, as correct. Okay.
so what I'm
Why do
gonna
people
say,
keep calling me? Why do people keep calling me Wavo?
Because it's a Spanish word for C.O. Jones. I can't say that word without getting Richard struck on YouTube. But I can say C.O. Jones. And the way
but
you would say C.O. Jones politely is say Wavo.
but
Huevo is the Spanish word for egg.
yeah,
It's also the polite way of saying C.O. Jones. Say that out as a word and you'll get what I'm saying.
but I want everybody that's listening keep keep your keep your heads on a swivel. Keep keep people in your thoughts and your prayers that God's protective hand will be out there,
Needs to be.
because we need, just like I say at the end of every stream, this world needs a lot more love in it. We
And
also
not
need a lot more God's guiding hand protecting us right now.
and not the kind of guiding hand from certain quarters that misrepresent what what was intended for us to love your neighbor as yourself.
Yes.
Not that.
Mm.
And even if you don't subscribe to that, I would ask you the question, who the hell are you not to?
hmm That's the difference in my faith. My faith says, love your enemy, forgive them.
Yeah, I mean,
Problem is that there is a faith out there that says kill. My faith says love the unbeliever so that they might find their way to the true path.
say,
There's
yeah,
another
see,
faith out there though that says kill the unbeliever.
yeah. So
Well,
here's the thing: you don't have to be Judeo-Christian to have a couple of functioning brain cells to realize that when you do things to hurt other human beings for no other reason than I don't like this person, that's not cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
Yep.
sorry I cut you off, Casey.
well, forgive me. I was just going to say that the bad thing about it is that there are a lot of people in that other particular group that you mentioned that don't espouse that. And
Mm-hmm.
and the bad thing about it is that it's just these wackos that are on the fringe who have taken a religious teaching and subverted it to their own ends. And
Unfortunately, Casey, I hate to disagree. I've read their holy book. I was I actually went through religious teachings when I was in the Navy from one of the clerics for the royal family there in Saudi Arabia during Desert Storm, in the build up to Operation Desert Storm. So much so that he gave me a copy of the English translation of their holy book, the Quran, and because he was thinking that I was actually going to convert to Islam, and Unfortunately, it's in there. It's
Well,
got
dude,
pages of it, and it's
okay. What I'm going to say to you is, now I'm not disrespecting or trying to contradict what you're saying, but just because of the local, I mean, I deal with a bunch of different people from a
Mhm.
bunch of different religions,
Mhm.
and what I've been taught is that basically, um, originally when this stuff started out, it wasn't supposed to be this way. It's
Mhm.
been it's been mutilated and twisted by people for their own ends. Now you could say whatever you want, and you might be correct, but
Mhm.
just by the people that I have talked to and learned from, that wasn't the original intent of the teaching. Now you could
like I said. I
disagree with
hate to
me.
disagree. Whenever we get a chance offline, because I can't talk about this on YouTube without getting losing my entire
Right.
channel. Because anytime you talk about the stuff, they go after you and they'll remove you from YouTube, because there's a lot of stuff that went on uh, that's really messed up. Because yeah, it's I want to talk about it, but I can't talk about it on YouTube.
Yep.
It's like I said, Casey. We'll have a nice long conversation about it, about the history of it. But it boils basically down to, when you're in the minority, be good. But when you're in the majority, take control and do whatever the heck you want. It's it's heartbreaking, because there is, like I said, I've studied it. There's a lot of good that was in the Quran. When you save one life, it's as if you have saved the entirety of humanity. That is how I look at life. That's how I see the world. I
Isn't
see
that
each individual as so extremely precious.
isn't that isn't that akin to the first or the second golden rule?
Do unto others.
Well, love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Yeah,
You wouldn't necessarily directly harm yourself if you knew otherwise, right? So that sounds kind of like that interpretation to me.
yeah.
I
Now,
could be wrong.
but like I said, there's just so much stuff that really gets to me. But pray for people right now,
Mhm.
because that's the only thing we really can do, is pray for each other and try desperately to get those who wish harm upon us to finally see us as human beings worthy of existence, and
Mhm.
to get to a point to where you can agree to disagree and coexist. That's why this channel is here.
Yep.
Is and that's why I like my fireside chats, where we can sit around the fire and just shoot the shit and talk about these subjects.
Yep.
And
Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't let us be as blunt and frank as we should be.
yep. And
Yep.
but anyway, that's the that's some of the heavy news that we've had over the past week, was the 48 hours of chaos and terror, and I wanted to touch on it. If you guys want to say something, please do, uh, because this is something that this
I
this
am reminded. I'm reminded of. I see all this going on. I'm reminded of 20 years ago, 20 something years ago, back when 9/11 happened,
yeah,
and how in recent years they actually made an attempt to erase that from the history book. No, it never happened. You have no proof. And you
yeah,
have people from right and left presenting actual photograph and video evidence
Mhm.
of eyewitness accounts of everything as it went down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they also tried to say World War II. Oh, the I
Holocaust
don't know if I
didn't-
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Holocaust. I don't even know if I can say that word on YouTube, but they tried to say that didn't happen. But the president at the time had taken all of these photographs of the gas chambers and all the different things and the piles and piles and piles of bodies, and they couldn't overlook that.
Yep. Well,
It's
I know in the UK there are places in their public schools they're not even allowed to teach about it, so they don't offend a section of
Mm-hmm.
their population. But anywho, anybody else like to speak out before we move to the James Cameron lawsuit update? No good. All right, Wayvote, you've got the panel floor.
alrighty. So before stream, I did a little more digging, and I found more information about this on IMDb because there's actually an article about this on IMDb. James Cameron is facing a copyright infringement lawsuit from a guy by the name of Eric Ryder, who filed a lawsuit in the Los Angeles County Superior Court last Thursday, claiming that Lightstorm Entertainment, which is James Cameron's production company, he approached Lightstorm Entertainment back in the 90s with an idea for, as it is quoted here in the article that I'm looking at, an quote environmentally themed 3D epic about a corporation's colonization and plundering of a distant moon's lush and wondrous natural setting, end quote. It also the guy also makes claims that he included the concept of, quote again, self-contained robotic exterior suits which house a single human operator, end quote. Now,
Okay.
what I understand, I believe Eric Ryder is suing James Cameron and Disney for, I think, possibly to the tune of $500 million. And this is over the movie Avatar. So that's this is a thing that is just now beginning to unfold.
Mm-hmm.
And you can bet, just like with the PAL World and Subnautica lawsuits, I'll be all over this because I'm one of the rare few who actually liked Avatar. Hot take. I'm one of the few who doesn't think Avatar sucked.
I'm actually planning to see Avatar 3 2 different times in theaters. The first time hopefully this weekend and the second time for New Year's.
Well, I'll tell you something if this helps. When I initially saw Avatar, I didn't think I thought it was pretty good, but by the time you actually, when they brought it home to my TV, and I put it in Blu-ray, I'm like, when I watch it like the second or third time, I'm like, this plot is pretty weak.
Yeah,
But
it feels like you didn't do nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I liked Avatar, but then again, I enjoyed Fern Gully, and I really enjoyed Eric Cartman's Dances with Smurfs. Because in many ways, it's Dances with Wolves too.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm sorry, there is nothing new under the sun. almost every story has a lot of the same basic plot devices. It's just how you shake it up.
Well, I mean, the
in it.
thing I've heard as a writer that there are only basically 7 different stories you can even tell, really,
Correct.
when it comes right down to it. So how original can you be?
Yep. There's 7 core plot lines that have been, derived over time, and you can play around with them a little bit. You can make a little adjustment here and there. But if you go too far off the path of any one of those core plot lines, it's pretty a safe bet that audiences will say, nah, I don't think this is nah. And that's how you end up with single-digit Rotten Tomato scores. Okay? And I think in this case, part of what he ran into is that he just waited too long.
Yeah.
Originally, James Cameron said there were going to be 9 movies in the Avatar series. How long did it take for the second one, The Way of Water?
10 years.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, with all due respect, George Lucas did not wait 10 years to finish that trilogy. Yep. And then he let it, and then, he let it marinate.
10 years, but it took him 10 years to get it all out.
And then then he let it marinate, create its own mythos. Okay. Yep. He let it stew to the point where he's like, okay, the audience is ready for me to throw down. Okay. And then he came out with a prequel trilogy where we're like, really? Okay. And then he let that stew. And oddly enough, as questionable as the prequel trilogy was, okay, a bratty Anakin, everybody was like, okay, I could see that. He was pretty messed up because of his mother's death. Okay. And so we wrote that off. And it kept growing. It kept evolving. But, dude, 10 years before you come out with the next one, and then it's kind of like, no. Come on. So if it's over now, it's been over, buddy.
Yeah.
You dropped the ball on this one. You really did.
Yeah. Then there's I've been hearing that James Cameron is actually burned out on Avatar.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
And this is surprising because
it's not. From what I understand, the first Avatar movie, even when it came out, was like 10 to 15 years in the making.
Yeah, it took. See, in many ways, Avatar would have been better off. I say it again, animated. It would have been cheaper and quicker to get made because a lot of the special effects that they did groundbreaking special effects with Avatar 10 years ago.
Maybe, but I would make the counter argument that he should have just bit the bullet and shot it out of a cannon.
Yeah,
Star Wars style. 2 years from now, 3 years from now, we got the next one in the pipeline. Like it, don't like it, bang. Well, we got the next one in the pipeline. Like it, don't like it, bang. Just whack the public over the head with it and then let it sit.
They could have filmed all 3 of the movies at one time.
Concurrently. You are absolutely correct.
Yeah. Do the special effects as they went.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they did it with Back to the Future.
Yeah. It would have saved money.
Okay. Here's the thing. Did you guys ever see the movie Contact?
Yeah.
Remember that with Jodie Foster? Why build one transporter? I'm quoting William Hurt, who played the rich dude who used to have to fly around to hold off his cancer growing. Why build one for this much money when you can build 2 for double? and there was a backup site. Well, shoot, they could have used the same logic and say, you know, we're gonna concurrently shoot these things back to back to back. We might release them a couple of years between them, but we're gonna stagger them, okay? But we're gonna shoot them concurrently. Why? Because the actors don't care. And by the way, as far as time is concerned, no time has transpired. And since we're talking about a linear story, the fact that no time has transpired between the actors will give the sense that, oh yeah, this is just a continuation.
Yep. Plus the fact you have that what happened with the actor that played Chekhov in the J.J. Trek movies.
Yep.
Because there's always the possibility an actor or actress is going to pass. Okay?
Bingo. That's why you had the difference between Star Trek, whatever the second one was, and Star Trek Beyond. That's why.
And see, if you're going to do it, it's okay. Linguistics. Just like in the military, if you're going to win a war, you got to be able to get your people into a position, keep them supplied, get them reinforcements, get the wounded out, all that stuff. It all boils down to that. And it's the same thing whenever you're making a movie or a TV show that relies heavily on these little things called actors.
Mm-hmm.
And not just your cast, which is your actors, but you also have to rely on a crew, the people behind the camera that make it work. For one person to be on the screen, there's at least 5 people. You've got the director, the camera person, you got somebody holding a microphone, you got somebody holding a light, sometimes 2 lights being held.
Right.
Okay. The tail is bigger than the tip.
Yeah.
That's why it's referred to in the military as the tip of the spear.
Right. And here's the thing that they don't think about. There's this thing called chaos theory, which is, the butterfly brushes its wings against this flower, which then affects how the bee pulls out the nectar, and so on and so on and so forth, until the pyramids fall down. Well, shoot, what had to come together to be able to create that perfect scene where search your feelings, you know this to be true, I am your father. Excuse me?
Yeah.
What had to go into making that scene possible? If you let too much time and circumstance transpire between everything that made that the scene, which turned all of movie fandom on its head, which I argue it did, okay? Yep. Why would you let that pass you by if you know where this thing is going?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Search your feelings. You know this to be true. I am your father. I'm sorry, but I challenge everybody to find some line in all of movie history that is close to that, other than maybe, I don't know, like we're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah.
From Jaws. Okay? I mean, seriously. Come on.
Yep.
Hello.
All right. I want more info on this lawsuit because I'm sorry. I still remember the lawsuit that Anus had when it came to Discovery stealing everything from his computer game that he was doing and how he got hosed over on that. So, yeah, anytime lawsuits like this pop up, I like hearing about it.
Yeah. Well, what I'm seeing here, Eric Ryder's complaint, I believe he's referencing a a science fiction story he did a while back called KRZ, and he's alleging that James Cameron copied elements of that story for the Avatar series.
Correct.
Like I've said, Dances with Wolves, Dances with Smurfs, Fern Gully. It's all the same storyline. Dances with Smurfs and Avatar both have hot blue chicks, so there is that.
See, here's the thing. There's a guy who published. He set like an AI to come up with all possible melodies. Okay, that's what he did. He set an AI to say, "I want you to generate all possible melodies according to these rules," which are pretty common among most Western music, using the scales that we use in Western music. You know what that guy did? He turned around and put that in public domain.
Yep.
He turned around, put all those melodies in public domain. Now what you're going to do when you want somebody to come up with a copyright lawsuit? Hello? He put it in public domain. Yep. What are you talking about?
Well, next week we're going to tease next week's lawsuit update, the Peter Cushing lawsuit that went down. Wavo's looking into that for us. I can't wait to hear more about it. So yeah, guys, next week we got that Peter Cushing lawsuit update coming too. I'm hoping we'll also have an update about the Pal World lawsuit.
Yeah, I've been hearing some not so great stuff coming out of Nintendo, but I haven't heard anything new about the Pal World lawsuit just yet.
All right, cool. Well, it's time for Ren to give us our 2 whiskey story. So Fox, if you want to step back for a few minutes, I totally get it. I'm already halfway down on my my glass of whiskey here, and it's
good to know you're prepared.
Yep, it's your turn.
How many fingers am I holding up, Richard?
As long as you don't have to pull them, Wavo, then everybody's okay.
Well, anyway, I pulled up the article on Google here, so I have the name and location, a guy named Justin Golden in Jacksonville, Florida.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's in my neck of the woods.
Hold on. Wavo. Don't make me break out the spray bottle.
What? What did I do? What'd I do?
Because you know it's coming. Don't make me break it out.
What? What'd I do? What did I do?
Just get on with it. Just get on with it. Don't humor him. Don't humor him. Just get on with it.
So the story is this guy and his at the time partner were in the car driving home from a shopping trip with their 8-month-old baby in the back seat. She said she was going to get out of the car. He told her to take the baby, and she said no. Well, he decided to take the baby out of the car himself and put it on the road where he drove up.
Keep going.
And
tell the part that requires me to drink this whiskey. Say it again, so everybody can hear it.
I said he ended up hitting the baby.
Yeah.
Oh.
So those who didn't catch it, he put the baby on the road, and then proceeded to back up and run over the baby.
Wow. Yes.
Now you know why I'm drinking whiskey for this story.
I am very thankful. I am very thankful I got all the anger and rage out of my system last week.
Yeah.
Plus, I've been kind of sick the last couple days. So
I gotta say this is truly messed from the beginning, because I don't understand why these people would be arguing enough to take a baby out of the car in the first place.
Yeah.
That was just the quote unquote father being petty.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine what kind of argument you would have that would necessitate somebody to be that petty.
Honestly, I wouldn't even call the guy a father at that point.
Well, I mean, but Rain was talking about the man and his partner. At first, I thought we were going to be dealing with a couple of gay guys or something.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'm going to say this right now. Every woman I know, if they had been in that situation, they would not have been told to take the baby with them. It would have been the first thing they would pull over so me and the baby can get out of the car.
Right.
Yep.
It wouldn't have even been a question.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, you guys know how I feel about kids and how I feel about being a father. It was being a husband and father was the only time in my life I felt like I was being a complete human being. It was the happiest time in my life. My precious little baby monkeys. Whenever I see a child, that's all I can think of is that's a precious baby monkey that needs to be loved and protected. And this guy, the reason why I said don't maybe break out the spray bottle is because, Lavo, you're like me. You've made the statement. He better hope he's not anywhere near you, because you'll go after him and feed him to the pigs. Like the dude who stabbed the little boy that we talked about last week. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be checking to see if they're where the wild hogs are at, but it's possible because we've got.
Oh, I know a guy. I know a guy who goes out and hunts wild hogs for a living.
Now, I'm looking at this. I'm just, yeah. Hey, son, Zachary is in the chat.
But yeah.
But like I said, we've got so much in this world. And this story is requiring, hold on. I'm gonna, wrong button. Right button. I just hit the wrong part of it. Y'all remember before we got started on the panel, they saw this. It was up here at the lip.
Slancha.
This story has me that worked up.
And there goes the monetization, folks.
Hey, I'm not telling you what it is.
We're not monetized anyway, so the joke's on you.
Dude, work with me here, okay? Work with me. Throw me a bone. Throw me a damn bone, okay? I mean, Hello, half of Hollywood is all about the illusion. You just go throw that shit out the window.
Exactly.
Hey,
Bubba.
I would talk about breaking the fourth wall, but there never was a fourth wall to break.
Yep. Look, guys.
Yeah, Deadpool smashed it to smithereens.
I love.
There you go. Now tell me, even though we don't have a big enough audience, that we don't have fun here.
Exactly.
That's the only difference. People are missing out. If you're catching this on replay, you should have been here live. Okay, that's on you. That's not our fault.
Yeah,
Yes,
better.
If you are here live in the chat, we have conversations with our chat. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I put it in the description. These are the things we're going to talk about, and whatever else the chat brings up. Because whenever we have done these when we first started doing these live streams, and we had a lot more people showing up for the live streams and in the chat, we had full conversations. There were times when there were people in the chat were making good points that we sent them a link so they could join the panel and be part of the panel and get up here beside the fire and join us in these discussions. That's why I made this channel, is so we can talk and be able to communicate with each other whenever there's these types of stories that are heartbreaking, that can unify us in our grief or in our joy. Okay? That's the whole reason why I get upset with people who are ashamed of their tears, of crying. To me, a tear is an amazing thing because it can represent joy or it can represent sadness. And the most powerful of tears are those that combine the two. When I held Zachary, who's right there in the chat, in the palm of my hand when he was born, I'm not kidding you. I was able to fit him in the palm of my hand. His little head was right here at the top of my fingers, and his itty bitty butt was right there on the palm of, right there at the top of the wrist. And his itty bitty legs was kicking, and his little arms were sitting there, and he opened his eyes for the first time. And I looked into his eyes, and there is nothing else on this earth that I can describe, because there are no words to describe that feeling of holding your child the moment after his birth. It will change your life. It will make you a different person, but you have to have a soul for that to happen. And sadly, I have met too many people like the jackass we're talking about in this story.
Well, my question, Richard, forgive me for interrupting, is it doesn't sound like either one of these people were really fit parents.
Yeah, neither of them don't seem to be fit parents to me.
Because who would let a man who's that deranged, just walk off and leave her kid, after that?
Yeah, and Rainbow Sparkle, or Ren, bringing us this story, I want to thank you for it, because when Huevo brought it to my attention, wanted you to have a chance to discuss it here with us. So please tell us what you think. And remember, we're a bunch of dudes that are quite irreverent. And we do, and I do know we're simulcasting onto Huevo's channel, which is more of a family friendly with no profanity. And I am doing my best not to use profanity.
I don't anyway, so you wouldn't have to worry about that from me.
Yep.
Hey, but this is the type of a case that deserves some profanity. That's why I'm making the statement. But you've got the stage for you and Huevo to make some ranting comments, because y'all said y'all wanted to make some rants. So please do.
Well, the article didn't really mention any other factor than just the parents were arguing, and we also have no idea if that guy showed that type of behavior before, so who knows why the mother left the baby in the car. We can't really judge her.
I don't know about that. I'm not buying it.
I feel like there is. I feel like there has to be more to that story. It just hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. I mean, I believe in the benefit of quote unquote the doubt. I mean, that's part of our legal system. Yeah. You have to prove something beyond.
It was January in Florida, so who knows what could have been going on.
Yeah.
You're talking to two guys who are in Florida who've seen, I'm not going to say it all, but you got to work real hard to surprise us.
Yep.
You do have Florida man down there.
Yeah. Growing up in Florida,
I've seen an 18-foot crocodile walking across a golf course. I mean, come on. Seriously. Okay?
I have seen those things. I have seen those things fly. Like they don't just walk or run. They will literally glide across a golf course.
Now,
they get going fast enough.
There's a reason I don't go to Florida, because if you spit on the ground, within less than a minute's time, an alligator will appear to exist within that.
It's not that bad. It is not that bad, but it might be a python,
which is
or a water moccasin,
which is worse because snakes. No snakes.
So I have to wonder. I have to wonder if there weren't any signs. Okay. I mean, it all depends on how much familiarity this person had with this other person, but it beggars the question of common sense, which I know is a rare thing these days. But that being said, what logical process did you apply to think that this was okay?
Now, I have to stop you for a minute. What is it Shrubby's always saying? What are you doing? What is it Shrubby always says? You're applying logic and reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Those two things, along with common sense, do not exist anymore.
Pretty much.
That's my catchphrase. One of my many catchphrases. How can you have common sense when sense isn't common?
Kraken is saying hi to everybody. So
hi, Kitty.
Hey, Kraken.
Yeah, he sees I needed a hug, so he shows up. But yes, this story is one of those stories that just really burns my butt. I mean, being a parent is one of the most important and solemn duties a human being can ever have. That is a precious little life that is in your hands. And it is such a solemn duty that it drives me nuts that people like this abuse it so horribly. And you don't mess with kids, man. You just don't do it.
Yeah, that's me. I know Ren and I have both agreed that because of various disabilities and other factors in our own personal lives, we ourselves will never have kids. Because we have no business having kids.
No, Marcelo, what they're saying is they've made the decision in their relationship not to have kids. They're not telling other people not to do it.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Because I've got friends of mine that suffer from genetic disorders that they don't want to see it passed on. And I totally get it, because they still want to be parents because they are wanting to adopt, but that's beside the point. So yeah, there's that.
Mm-hmm. And but, adoption is a alternative that we did consider a while back, if on the off chance it comes to that. But that's way down the road. We're not even at that crossroads yet.
Well, you're both still kids. So don't rush it. Just let
I am 30. I am 35, thank you.
You're still a kid, man.
Oh God, you're a pup. What are you talking about?
You're a kid, man. Come on. Remember who you're talking to. You've got people on this panel that are over 55, man. Come on.
I think I'm the second youngest person in this group.
But like I said, we've got our things going,
Yeah. But if I did have a child, you can bet I would go out of my way to make sure that child was safe and taken care of at all times.
Well, that's good to hear, because I'm old enough that if that child was your child and you were my child, I'd whack you into the next century if you didn't.
Yep. Same here.
I'm just saying. Yep. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
But anywho,
okay.
This, like I said, this was a 2 whiskey story.
Oh yeah.
Next up is going to be John Carter of Mars.
This is going to be a fun one.
A subject which is near and dear to my heart.
Yes, because our dear beloved son of Mars is, like me, a very big fan of the pulp era genre. And Tarzan and John Carter of Mars, Doc Savage, The Shadow, all of these characters were the superheroes of that age.
Mm-hmm.
They were extremely popular. Doc Savage was the Superman of that era.
Correct.
The Shadow was the Batman of that era.
Correct. Yeah.
Now,
and the Phantom was the Martian Manhunter of that era. Interestingly enough. Yeah.
Exactly.
The man of many faces. The man of many faces.
Yep. And John Carter of Mars was one of my all-time favorites growing up. I actually had a copy of John Carter of Mars that my grandmother gave me from her antique store.
Wow.
And it was awesome. Okay.
And this is going to be a fun story to tell.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people will remember that Disney several years ago put out a live action movie.
I loved the movie.
Well, I enjoyed it, but both critically and box office wise, it was a complete and total failure.
Part of that was because Disney did not know what the F it was doing with it.
Exactly. Okay? Yep. They did not advertise it. The marketing and advertising for it was horrible. They screwed with the name multiple times.
Yep.
Because originally it was John Carter, a Princess of Mars. That was going to be the title of it, because that was the title of the first book. Then they said, "Oh, that's too long. Okay, then we'll just make it John Carter of Mars," because that was the title of the series. And they said, "Oh, you can't do that, because this movie here that just came out was called The Martian, and we don't want to confuse people."
Oh, God.
And of course, you cannot mess with whose movies?
Yeah.
Who was the director of The Martian?
I can't remember.
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Cannot mess with him. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be absolutely freaking kidding me. Because let me tell you. Let me tell you. Okay. Lynn Carter, absolutely stunning in that movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning in that movie. James Purefoy, excellent in that movie.
Thomas Hayden Church was awesome, even though he was animated in it.
Yes. And let me tell you, Taylor Kitsch was also excellent in that movie. Dominic West was fantastic. And before we forget, okay, Mark Strong as Matai Shang was like spot on.
Yep. But anything he's in, he's awesome in.
Let me put it this way. When that man is such an incredible character actor that if he's in a movie or he's in a show, you just gotta like, okay, I just have to watch this. Okay. He made, even though he had such small screen time, okay, he made the movie Tinker Tailor, whatever spy. Soldier Spy.
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
He made that movie. I'm sorry.
I loved him in the Sherlock Holmes movie he made with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
He was awesome in that movie.
Yeah.
But Mark Strong is one of my favorite actors. I mean, I know there are a lot of people who did not like the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie, but I loved it. I thought it was good.
Yep.
That Ryan Reynolds actually was able to capture the young Hal Jordan when he first got started. Because that was the big character arc for Hal Jordan in the comics, was the fact when he started out, he was a Ryan Reynolds type, snarky, didn't take nothing seriously, and then he evolved into the lawman of the Starways.
Dude, if this movie had not been messed up, we could have really had a Gambit movie with him because he played Gambit in the Wolverine. Perfect. He was Gambit, and you could tell that he was Gambit, and they should have made a Gambit movie. But because John Carter of Mars failed to take off, we did not get to see the Gambit that we should have seen.
Well, the thing that gets me about John Carter of Mars, it had good production value, it had good casting, the script was good. It was one of the closest adaptations to the books that I've ever seen, except as I said before in pre-game, before we started, the costuming. Because if they had went by the way the costumes were supposed to be in the books, they would have had to have been either a very hard R or a very light X, because the Martians, all they wore were boots, cloaks, and jewelry, and belts, of course, to hold the swords and the laser pistols. But that was it. Let that sink in, guys. We could have saw.
Fun part about this is this is going to be a TV show.
Oh God!
Hopefully it's animated, because I'm with Richard on this one. I would like to see it animated, but this is the estate of Edgar Rice Burroughs. The estate of Edgar Rice Burroughs is involved in this, and the showrunner is Michael Koga, who did a lot of screenwriting and stuff for Warner Brothers and a lot of writing for Lucasfilm and Star Wars Insider.
And that's, for those who've not seen it, if you guys can get the good copies of Star Wars Insider from back in the day, it was amazing. They had a whole bunch of really good stuff, especially the expanded universe when they still supported the expanded universe.
Yep.
Which is another one of those things that gave me pause after Kathleen Kennedy took over and she basically tossed it out.
Let's see. Oh, hang on. Reading further in the article, this John Carter of Mars show will be animated.
Mhm.
Hold on. We got to do this.
Golf clap. Golf clap.
That will be perfection.
And they acknowledge that with this being a 114-year-old franchise, they need to do the exact opposite of what Disney did.
Yeah.
Especially in regards to marketing.
Right.
Now, the marketing, like I said, if they would have marketed the movie better, because when I went to go see it in the theaters, I told my brother Jim, I want to go see this movie. I want to go see John Carter. Can you take me to go see John Carter? And he looked at me funny. He says, what is it? And I'm like, it's John Carter. And he goes, what? John Carter of Mars, a Princess of Mars. They've made a movie of it. And he goes, well, why didn't you say so? Because as a little kid, he read these books. And so we went and saw it twice on the big screen. And we were both like, oh my God, they actually got it, you know? And we've got about another hour at least, DBK, if you want to join in.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to join us.
Because after this, we're going to be talking about the passing of Bill Gerard, Rob Reiner, and Greg Biffle, and then we move on into about Christmas. So yeah, DBK, if you want to come in, you're more than welcome.
Matters.
And but yeah, I want this so bad because John Carter of Mars has the potential to be a sci-fi classic on the same level of Star Wars, even though it's more of a Conan the Barbarian, Tarzan type setting that's just one alien planet instead of a whole bunch of different alien planets.
Dude, I'll put it to you this way. John Carter of Mars has spawned so many things that people do not realize.
Like
I dare say, I'll put it to you this way. I dare say that we would not have Dune were it not for John Carter of Mars.
Heck, we wouldn't even have Superman.
Probably.
Because,
yeah.
Shoot, I can't say their names right now.
Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah, these guys admitted that they got the idea for Superman from John Carter of Mars. How a human on Mars was able to, he was stronger, tougher, could make exceptionally large leaping bounds.
Exactly. And we got to see that in the John Carter of Mars movie.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I loved the movie. It was so good.
Yeah. And able to stop a steaming locomotive.
Yep.
Come on, man. Did you see the thing that he stopped in the movie?
Mm-hmm.
I rest my case.
Yep. Like I said, Disney dropped the ball.
Okay.
Hugely dropped the ball.
With permission, I'm going to make a blanket statement here.
Go for it.
And that is that Disney is just not a science fiction company. They don't know how to do science fiction. They never have, and I don't think they ever will.
I think Star Wars is concrete proof of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I will say that there are some science fiction stuff that Disney did that was really good. Black Hole was good. That was hard sci-fi. They actually had
that was awful. I watched that movie in the theater. That movie was a very bad ripoff of Star Wars at best. You had scenes where they didn't even know what they were doing. You had
Absolutely. The robots that were in it, clear ripoffs of R2D2 and C3PO.
Dude, they had the biggest scene in the movie was they had a meteor crash through the top of the ship, and it looked like a bowling ball. It looked like a bad ripoff of Raiders from the Lost Ark.
Yep. Look,
there was another sci-fi movie that they did that was really good as well, and that was The Cat from Outer Space.
Dude, that wasn't a sci-fi movie.
No.
That was a Disney movie from the 1960s.
That was a comedy, man. That was a comedy.
Do you want to know how many times I've watched that movie? Because when I babysat my little sisters.
But then, Richard, you just made my point. You just made my point. No. It's a movie you watch when you wanted to babysit your 5-year-old sisters because they wanted to have something they could watch.
Yep.
It was a good family movie, but it wasn't a science fiction movie.
Correct.
All right, I'll give you that. I actually enjoyed The Black Hole back in the day because to me I thought it was pretty good.
Yep.
They tried.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they hired Werner von Braun to come in there and be their technical advisor.
Well, I mean, and you have to say for the day, they had a real good cast for a movie. They just didn't know what to do with them.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is if they'd given them a better script, they would have had a better movie, but that was not a good movie.
Yeah, the script was not that strong. I actually had the toys for it. That was one of the things that I really enjoyed. The only thing I didn't have the play sets. I had the action figures.
Although I must admit the best part of that movie, and you can dispute me if I'm wrong, but the best part of the movie to me was Maximilian.
Yes. Maximilian. That toy, oh God. I loved having that toy. It still grinds my gears what ended up happening to him because my mom we had to babysit some rich kids and it disappeared when the rich kid went home.
Well, I particularly liked the end of the movie. The end of the movie was the best part of the entire movie. When you see Maximilian and he's standing up there in the flames and they got the horns coming out of his
Yep.
I just loved it. I love that.
It's one of those movies that
if
they're going to make a remake, the Black Hole's the one they really should do and do it right. But hey,
do you trust Disney to do anything right?
Not anymore. Not right now.
Fox. They didn't even do it right the first time, and it was their original piece of work. Do you think they're going to do any better with a remake?
Exactly. Welcome to the party, DBK. How are you doing today?
Doing all right. Sorry I'm late. Just had a bunch of work I still had to do.
Hey, buddy.
It's all right. Like I tell everybody, you've always got a seat here by the fire whenever you can make it.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. I missed what I haven't even been able to turn in. I had to, get stuff to attorneys and just crazy stuff. So, what I miss?
We're gonna have to say goodbye to Son of Mars. He's got to run. Everybody, keep him in your thoughts and your prayers, and know that you're going with the grace of God with you, brother. If you want to hawk your stuff before you leave.
My stuff is I'm just getting ready. You saw a little preview of it on Startcast last Saturday. You're going to get some more this Saturday night. And for anybody watching, please use your peer pressure on Shrubby to voice the voice of Christmas Past in a special recording of A Christmas Carol.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Just push Shrubby to do it. I know he can do it, and wait for the broadcast.
Shrubby was an awesome Ghost of Christmas Past.
Oh,
he has the perfect personality for it.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, welcome, DBK. As you just joined us as we were wrapping up talking about John Carter of Mars and a little bit about the black hole and a few other little bits. What do you think of John Carter of Mars? Have you read the books?
I just lost you. What do I think of what?
John Carter of Mars.
Edgar Rice Burroughs.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that. And then I don't think I ever saw it because I started hearing what a crappy job they'd done with it. So I'm not sure that I ever saw it. Refresh my memory. Did they have is that the one that had Tracy Lords in it?
No. That's not it.
Well, isn't there a version of John Carter of Mars that's
the porn one, man.
No, you know what?
This was after she got out of that.
Oh, dude, yeah, you know what? You're right, TVK. I remember seeing it.
Okay.
I remember seeing it. What they actually did, Richard, was there was a smaller company several years after the Disney movie. They actually came out and did a version called John Carter, the Princesses of Mars. And it had her in it.
Yes.
She was the main chick in the movie.
And then who was in the Disney version in that role?
She was hot. I can't remember her name, but she was hot.
I'll have to look it up. Okay, all right. So I haven't lost my mind yet, or at least
no. But I remember that I saw that movie.
If you get a chance to see John Carter, the Disney version, man, it was really good.
Okay.
It's just the fact that Disney did not market it or advertise it or support it in any real way.
Well, what else is new?
It was the closest adaptation of the Edgar Rice Burroughs novels I've ever seen.
Okay, yeah, the Disney version was the one that had Taylor Keach and Lynn Collins in it. Okay, yeah.
It also had Thomas Hayden Church and Mark Strong. It was really good. I loved it.
You know, Richard, now that I think of it, part of the reason now that I remember they didn't advertise, I don't think they advertised as much, was because it was so close to The Martian coming out, and they were afraid that having two science fiction movies that, had to do with Mars, they'd get theirs,
Well, it's not the first time that's happened. I mean,
yeah, but the thing is, dude, it was so close, and The Martian was relatively popular, as I remember at Disney. I think they said the insiders said that they wanted to kind of back off because they weren't sure that their movie was good enough to actually, they spent a lot of money on it.
What was it that came out about the same time as Red Planet? There was the one that Red Planet that had Val Kilmer and
Red Planet had Val Kilmer,
Matrix
more on it.
Tom Sizemore, but also it had who was the lead in the lead female in the Matrix? And
Mosley.
Carrie Ann Moss. Yeah, she was in that.
The other movie that came out about going to Mars was the Denise movie.
Well, the one I'm thinking of, the one that had Tim Robbins and Jerry O'Connell and
that's the John Sinise one.
Huh.
It also, if I remember,
I thought it was a Brian De Palma movie for some reason.
But there was. It seems like every time somebody comes out with a movie that has to do with Mars, somebody else is also doing another movie.
Oh, of course, yeah,
with Mars.
It's just that happens all the time. I mean, there's Deep Impact and
Armageddon.
Armageddon, thank you.
Yeah, I love that one.
I just don't know that from what I heard at the time, there was some debate about from test screenings from John Carter, and Disney was afraid with all the other competition that was coming out, so they backed off on it, thinking that they just didn't have much faith in their own film.
Yeah.
They also were
Mission to Mars. That's the one I'm thinking
cutting
of.
back on the advertising and the marketing. They cut their losses on by not spending the money to get people to advertise it, which unfortunately is one of the reasons why it didn't make. Nobody knew it really was out there. And but yeah, this TV show, they're going to do it as an animated, and I'm hoping that since they are working with the Burroughs family, and the Burroughs family is pretty straight up the way the Tolkien family used to be.
Yeah.
The Burroughs family, the Tolkien family used to be very seriously protective of that legacy. Okay. And Siggy just did it. He says it again. Here it is. It's up there. Just really the only solution is pushing the pretty red button and freeing our eldritch god, and all these topics become moot. Praise our eldritch god. Now, if you had been here, 20 minutes ago, you wouldn't be getting what you're about to get, because we were talking about.
Yeah, we would have let you, Siggy.
But if you did, just a little too late, Siggy.
Yep. So here it comes. Bad Sig Valdison. Bad Siggy. Bad Siggy. Bad Siggy. Bad Siggy. Bad Siggy. Bad Siggy. Bad.
All right, Richard. I think he's had enough.
All right. The one I was thinking of was called Mission to Mars, and yes, it was a Brian De Palma film.
Mm-hmm.
Brian De Palma directed that. I can't remember who you said, but that one came out March, and then Red Planet was November of the same year.
Yep. John Sinise was in Mission to Mars, and it ended with him.
Gary Sinise. That's what was
Gary
throwing me
Sinise.
off.
That's it.
Okay, you were talking about Gary Sinise being. You were saying Johnson is like, I'm not hearing that name. It's not ringing any bells. You were talking about the Gary Sinise starring in that film. It was Gary Sinise, Tim Robbins, Jerry O'Connell, Iron, the Iron Patriot, or whatever, the Don Cheadle. That's what I'm trying to think of. Connie Nielsen, and yeah.
Yeah, we've got the minion of Calderon is in there saying, I just got here and someone's getting sprayed. Yes, that's what happens when Sig Valdison starts talking about pushing the big red button. And we're not discussing a 2 whiskey news story, because if he shows up and says it during the 2 whiskey news story, everybody agrees with him. And right about now, I just finished my 2 whiskey for said 2 whiskey news story. So if I start slurring my words, you know why. It's kicked in and it's really loosening my tongue, and my Southern is going to start coming out and be a heck of a lot stronger. But that's beside.
Did you guys talk at all about yesterday's 9-hour stream from Film Threat?
No, I didn't hear about it.
Dear.
I don't watch them.
The funeral
for Star Trek.
Yeah, I saw that.
And you would not believe what happened. They got talking about.
Uh-oh. You're, say that again.
You're cutting out, DBK.
Cut it out. You there, buddy?
Super chat.
I think it's audio.
Read something about that and mispronounced it. Sigma Leoshatu. And everybody on the panel and me out in the audience are all did the same thing. Ioshatu. But then there was this guy. I never heard of the Trexperts before. Sorry. This guy from the Trexperts
Darren something, who apparently his day job is working for the Roddenberry Archive, and this guy's been around. I mean, like serious clout. Okay, the people that were on the street, Robert Meyer Burnett and people of that caliber dropping into the panel for a while. This guy on the panel says, I think it was back in the TNG days. There was a pitch for a seat, and he starts laying out the premise of my spec script that my agent took to TNG. And he knew it was a TNG script. He knew the setup, and he just remembered it off the top of his head. And I'm sitting there going, just jaw hit the floor. This is the second time somebody involved with Star Trek has mentioned my spec in public. And I had to sit in the super chat and say, that was my spec. And here's what happened. It was crazy.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Anyway, I'm still just flabbergasted that anybody even remembers it.
Yeah. I have a Sig Baldwin made a comment in the chat. I'd like to respond to. It says pop culture is dead and all that is left is a look at yesteryear.
Yeah.
It's not pop culture anymore. In order, and I will die on this hill, pop culture is not pop culture anymore because it's not popular.
Facts.
It's
exactly
just
right.
it's just culture. It's not pop culture if it's not popular.
Yep. See,
Yeah,
this is one of the reasons why I want to do a Let's Talk About Saturday Morning Cartoons, because back in those days, you had the 3 channels, and the kids were watching one of those 3 channels, and it was a shared thing. And so many people nowadays don't understand how big that was. I mean, look at Friends and Seinfeld. I mean, the last episode of Seinfeld, so many people tuned in to watch it, just like the last episode of MASH. People tuned in just to watch the last episode of it. And yes, everybody knows about Looney Tunes because it was shared. It was part of the Saturday morning cartoons. It was also the fact that Looney Tunes was one of those things that was all, you went to the movies and they would play Looney Tunes cartoon shorts before a movie, during intermission, and after a movie. And I think DBK just dropped out. I hope I didn't scare him away. But like I said, pop culture, what we've got today that is trying to pass itself off as pop culture. Welcome back, DBK.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Pop culture, because it's not popular. It's not shared. It's focused on this mythical modern audience that doesn't exist.
Dude, can I explain something to you? In order for it to be popular culture, it would have to be something that was decided on by the populace. Today, exactly. what we got is corporate culture. It's an offshoot of corporate culture. It hasn't been popular culture in at least 20 years. At least 20 years.
And we all know what corporate culture is. Utter garbage.
Yeah. Exactly. They just, and the worst part of it is they're spoon feeding it to kids, and because the kids don't have any other reference point for the most part, they're buying it, and I really had to think of what the next generation or two is going to be.
Yep. Very true, Casey. Very true. Let's go.
Honestly, in the case of Looney Tunes, with how fast Warner Brothers took down anything remotely Looney Tunes related, I wouldn't be the least surprised if they completely erased everything Looney Tunes from their archives.
Yeah, that's what scares me.
I think that was
if so, because if that's the case, then that's what 100 years worth of pop culture history lost forever.
Well, too many people have copies of it. It's just
Yeah. Our next.
I would love to get a copy of it.
Next up, we're going to go ahead and hit our memories of Gil Gerard, Rob Reiner, and Greg Biffle, the NASCAR driver who was killed with his family today here in North Carolina in an airplane crash. I don't know as much about Greg Biffle. I know Crazy does. Rob Reiner, I'm going to touch on him first because it's big in the news right now about what happened with him and his wife and some of the new information that has come out. There is a couple of really good videos where there's this gentleman that has gone over the timeline of the events and the fact that Rob Reiner and his wife died the night before they were discovered. They were their son cut their throats in their sleep in the middle of the night.
Oh my God!
They had a big public blowout argument fight at the Conan O'Brien holiday party the night that they had their throats cut. And the argument was over, if I remember right. It was, I might be wrong on this, but it was on the fact that Rob and his wife was saying that they were going to cut Nick off because of his drug addiction, or I'm stressing this, take this with a grain of salt. The rumor is that the true argument was over hormone replacement therapy because Nick was supposed to be transitioning or some shit. I don't know. That this is all still new stuff.
Yeah, I'd heard that latter part about the transitioning in the early aftermath, and apparently whoever put that story out did not have any kind of confirmation, and I've literally not heard anybody bring that part back up since until just now. Um, I, I had to change some settings, and so I missed something. Um, you mentioned that the public argument was at Conan O'Brien's party, right?
Holiday party.
Yeah, and
Like
yeah,
I said,
what
the rumors that I've heard are from people that were at the party said that it had something to do with Nick didn't think that Rob Reiner was far left enough, and that's what they were arguing over.
that's wild.
Really?
I mean, he's practically deep state embedded in leftist stuff. I mean, three-letter, deeply wired into three-letter agencies, from what I've heard.
Yep. And
But yeah, that's crazy.
and I mean, Roma, their daughter, is the one that found their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
The timeline is that he had went out and rented an apartment, not an apartment, but a hotel room. He took the sheets from the hotel room, taped them up over the windows. When he showed up there to do the renting and stuff, not a drop of blood on him, no nothing. He looked normal. Well, the cleaning crew the next morning said that there was blood everywhere, especially in the bathroom where he cleaned up. So it's obvious that he knew what he was going to do, that he rented a place that he could go and clean up after he got it done. There is videos surveillance videos of him at a convenience store before they arrested him going in and buying some stuff. So
He's not
yeah,
real smart, is he?
Well, this is the whole thing with this. There's still so much we don't know. We do know that when he was arrested, they put him under a $5.5 million bond, and then they revoked the bond to where he couldn't get out on bail. So that's where we're at on that. And as Siggy says, so it's premeditated. Everything is looking like, yes, this was a premeditated thing. He was getting cut off from the family's money. And if the rumor is true that he was transitioning, that means they were not going to pay for his transitioning stuff.
Again, I've not heard, other than from you, I've not heard anything about transitioning since the first morning after. I would be very cautious to even discuss
That's
that
why
at this point.
I'm saying that was the rumor. I'm not saying that's exactly what it was. I'm saying these are the two rumors I have heard.
Right. Well, like I said, the one person that had put that out there on social media from a reporting standpoint almost immediately retracted it. So I would be cautious even hypothesizing. What I have seen reported is in multiple places is that his sister found the bodies, and that TMZ reported that she basically told the police start looking inside the family, start your investigation inside the family.
Yeah,
basically said this is the other thing that I heard was that in recent days, forgive me if I get her name wrong. The wife's name was Michelle, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, Michelle had been telling friends of the family that they literally didn't know what they were going to do with Nick anymore because they had tried, quote unquote, everything.
Yeah.
So there was,
like I said,
reportedly, they were at the end of the rope.
And that was what started a lot of this stuff. And like I said, the reports that I had read that came out of the friends of the family that was at Conan O'Brien's holiday party that was reporting on the big blowout fight that was so messed up it wasn't even funny, that everybody was like going, holy shit, this ain't cool. And
well, I mean, it led Rob and Michelle to leave, didn't it?
They all left, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's wild. It's a wild story. But like I said, we don't know anything more than what I've just said. And most of what I've just said, I'm saying this, take it not with a grain of salt, take it with a pound of salt, because a lot of it is still rumor and innuendo.
Yeah.
The only thing we know for sure is the fact he knew what he was doing when he did it. He set stuff up to where he could go somewhere and get himself cleaned up after doing it. We also know for sure that the family was going to be cutting him off from the money that they had been giving him. And this is a major tragedy. I might not have agreed with Rob Reiner politically and morally on anything, because this is the dude that said that he wished that the assassin would have took Trump out, though he did get his head out of his butt when Charlie Kirk was murdered. And James Woods was supposed to be one of his best friends, which kind of confuses me, because this is the dude that said anybody that voted for Trump is a monster.
No, I mean, I've seen in multiple places James Woods himself talk about how much he loved Reiner, how Reiner was responsible for saving his career when he was still a young man, mid, late 30s, something like that, that fought for him to get him to cast him in a role he was 20 years too young to play, kind of thing. That they would argue about politics, but be laughing about it. That it never affected their friendship.
Yep. The same thing was with John. No, not John Stewart. His last name was Stewart. Back in the old days,
Jimmy
Stewart, and shoot, one was a big time Democrat and the other was a big time Republican, and the two of them had one massive blowout, and then the two of them got so upset they walked away. The next day they came back together and said, "Let's swear an oath never to talk politics ever again. Our friendship is too valuable." And
to hear James Woods talk about, like I said, I saw saw him in interviews talking this way, saw X post directly from him saying this is how he was, that that while they would disagree and argue, it was never hateful or heated or vehement. They would be laughing about their disagreements as if James Woods said that he considered Rob Reiner every bit a patriot as himself, that we both wanted the same things for this country, we just had different ideas on how to get there. So,
but like I said, nobody deserves what he got. Nobody deserves that.
Agreed.
It rips my heart out. It really does when stuff like this happens. And it's terrifying to me. So he's in my prayers. The Reiner family is in my prayers on this, that they get the strength and the love and support that they really need at this time. And I'm also going to pray that their son gets the help he fucking needs. That you have to be crazy to pull some shit like this off. And yes, Rob was both a commie and a useful idiot, but he also made some really good movies and TV shows. And when he wasn't allowing his Republican derangement syndrome destroy his rational mind and his common human decency, from everything I've heard, he was a decent human being when he didn't allow that irrational hatred to overwhelm everything. And it's driving me. It breaks my heart that when people allow their irrational hatreds to overwhelm that rational mind and their common human decency, it guts me. Because some of the most intelligent people I've known have allowed that to completely make them dumb. And the older I get, the more I see it, and the more I have to pray for them that they'll wake up and see that they're allowing that irrational hatred overwhelm everything else. And it does. It breaks my heart when I see people like this. Next, let's go ahead and touch on Gil Gerard, because then we'll end with Greg Biffle and his family dying in the airplane crash. I wanted to get Rob Reiner and his wife's death out of the way, because there was just so much negativity with their murder and the things that Rob Reiner had said before he died that has caused a lot of animosity with people. I wanted to get that up front and out of the way so we can get to the good stuff and celebrate.
Before we move on from Reiner, though, I'd like to share one more thing that I don't want to get into detail because it's not my story to tell. But I got a text from my brother the morning after the news broke saying, "I guess you heard this news." It's like, yeah, what I'm hearing is that the son was responsible. Turns out when Nick was still a young and when I say young, I mean young man, like 9 years old. My brother had an opportunity to meet Rob Reiner and his son Nick because Nick had seen something that got him interested in um, uh, the military, actually. And my brother was in a situation where he was able to facilitate uh, a bit of a tour, or at least a portion of it. And surprised me that they would even be interested. But he had his experience with them was very, very brief, but very positive.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, don't don't let this is to everybody. I'm not saying anyone in particular. I'm not saying you, Richard, or anybody else. I'm just saying don't let your side, wherever you're getting your news from, paint a picture of somebody you don't know. There's more to all of us than anybody else knows, and so that I guess that's all I got to say on it.
Oh yeah, it's like with I've met so many people in my life and got to see them behind the scenes when the cameras aren't rolling, and see them for the people that they actually were.
Yeah, see them when they're not on.
And I look at this and it makes me this breaks my heart. Nobody deserves this. And I'm keeping, like I said, I'm keeping the Reiner family and my thoughts and my prayers that they can get the strength to get through this, because this is just starting point, because when this goes to court and all this stuff comes out, there's going to be a whole lot of stuff coming out that I know the family's not really going to want people to know about. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I wouldn't want to know the details of how the murders were carried out and the thought process that went into it and why it happened. I just would not want to be in that situation. I mean, a family member killing another family member. Nick killed his mom and his dad.
Yeah.
Slit their throats in their sleep.
Wow.
And that there's a term for parenticide. I just can't remember what it is. Fraternicide or something like that. I know patricide was killing your dad. Matricide is killing your mom. I think it's fratricide when you're killing your parents.
I think that's your brother and sister, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was siblicide. Siblicide or something like that. Hang on.
But
could be. I don't know.
But like I said, it's one of those types of sins that just goes against every fiber of our human experience. It's like the whole golden child scapegoat syndrome you see in some families, where one child is everything they do is the greatest thing ever, while the other child is treated as if no matter how great of something they do, it's never good enough.
Yeah.
Okay. The word you're looking for, Richard, is parricide.
Parasite, that's it. All right. Let's go ahead and go to Gil Gerard, one of my favorite actors when I was growing up, because he played one of my favorite characters, Buck Rogers, in the 25th century. And the biggest reason why he was one of my favorites is Aaron Gray. For those of you old enough to know, you know.
Aaron Gray was quite attractive in those tight, shiny outfits.
God, yeah. He had the perfect buttocks. It was perfect.
Oh, she had the perfect legs. She had the perfect waist.
Perfect breasts.
Remember, we do have a woman present.
Well, she can talk about how
I'm only half listening.
she can talk about how awesome
Gil Gerard was
looked in that
was
bodysuit
great.
too.
I fell in love with his portrayal of Buck Rogers. Well, yeah, you got to understand. I'm the guy that learned how to thread the 16 millimeter projector at 5 years old.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to watch the Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers serials that my dad had bought and kept in the closet and would pull out for parties and stuff. I wanted to watch them back before you could just pop in a VHS.
Yep.
And so when they started remaking Flash and Buck, I was the first one online. I had to drag my dad to these things because nobody was going to replace Buster Crabbe for him. I got to tell you, that episode where Buster Crabbe guested as a pilot named Gordon.
Yeah.
And that exchange between the two of them.
I've been
pretty good shooting there, Gordon.
Born.
I've been doing that since before you were born, young. Oh, you think so? Young man.
I know
I
so.
know so. Yeah. I got to tell you, Gil Gerard was just the best. And oh my goodness, that farewell message that he had his wife post for him was just perfect. Have you guys all seen it?
I tried.
No.
It's on Facebook.
I got a picture of it here. I don't think I can share it from my phone. If somebody's got a picture there, I can read what he said.
Would you please? Because I can't get on Facebook.
Can you send me the picture on Discord, and then I will take it and I'll put it up on the back screen?
Let me see. I may lose you while I do that, but yeah, let me.
Or you can send it to me on X, and I can send it to him.
Oh, okay, do that. Do that. But Gil Gerard, I know this is the way he played Buck Rogers, that irreverence, but heroic qualities in many ways, that if they were going to do a reboot and try to recapture that, I think Ryan Reynolds would be the person they'd have to get to play Buck Rogers. Though he would have to play a little bit more serious version of himself. Like in the movie where he went back in time to save his father and his younger self, because that was the feel that Gil Gerard gave Buck Rogers in the TV show Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. And
yeah,
I do. I think that if they were to do a reboot, it would have to be a Ryan Reynolds in that role. All right, let me see if I can pull this off.
I love it. You probably won't be able to zoom in on the picture, but he's wearing in a picture. He's wearing a T-shirt that says, "When this virus is over, I still want some of you to stay away from me."
Yes. And also in it is an animated picture of him in his Buck Rogers outfit, which is pretty cool. But it says, if you are reading this,
are you going to share it?
Posted
it. Do you mind if I read it? Because
okay, go ahead.
I feel so connected to him. If you're reading this, then Janet has posted as I asked her to. My life has been an amazing journey. The opportunities I've had, the people I've met, and the love I've given and received have made my 82 years on the planet deeply satisfying. My journey has taken me from Arkansas to New York to Los Angeles and finally to my home in North Georgia with my amazing wife, Janet, of 18 years. It's been a great ride, but inevitably one that comes to a close as mine has. Don't waste your time on anything that doesn't thrill you or bring you love. See you out somewhere in the cosmos.
He was, and that's the picture, and that's the animation pic. He was an amazing class act.
Absolutely.
And for those who were on my on one of my servers I'm on, we where we talk about BattleTech, okay? Several people were saying, well, what did he do after Buck Rogers? Because I haven't seen him in really anything after that. Well,
He
he
had
did.
a TV show called Sidekicks where he was the mentor and martial arts teacher to a young man.
Yep.
Yeah,
He did.
who later turned out to be a very good martial artist in his own right.
Yep. He also was
Before,
in a whole lot of fan uh, fan productions. He
yeah,
did independent movies. He did a lot of stuff outside of the big spotlight. He did the stuff that he wanted to do,
yeah,
the stuff that interested him.
absolutely.
He was amazing. I mean, he did Star Trek: The Continuing Adventures. He had a reoccurring role on there.
Yeah,
I can't remember the name. I can't remember if he was a commodore or an admiral, but he
he
did.
was an admiral.
And
Sheehan, Admiral Sheehan.
and they said that he loved the heck out of that of doing that of doing the Star Trek Continues and let's see if I remember right, it was Star Trek Phase 2. Then it became Star Trek the New Adventures or the New Voyages, and then it was the Continuing Voyages. Before they ended up having to close production thanks to Kurtzman Trek shutting them down.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that was one of the most fun he had because the people he was doing it with had such a great love and passion for the project that they were working on. And he said that the professionalism and the quality of work was amazing. So Gil Gerard was truly a class act.
Yeah.
He was the type of actor I wish we had more of, especially with the way he treated his fans. He adored his fans because he knew he wouldn't have became famous and have a career if it wasn't for the people like us who loved him and would go out of our way to see him when he was at conventions or go watch whatever it was he was putting out. That's, like I said, he was a class act. And so
I believe he was first noticed for a role. Do you remember the airport movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, Airport 77, these were big disaster films back in the 70s. And that's where I think he first got noticed, but he was frustrated with the lack of roles that he was getting or the fact that he was, TV guest star, that kind of thing. So he made his own movie called Hooch that was basically a Smokey and the Bandit ripoff, but he still did it. And because he pulled that off, I think that's what led to his guesting on Little House.
Yeah.
And it was the guesting on Little House that got him noticed. And he actually turned down Buck Rogers at first because he didn't think it would be treated seriously. It would be, this is going to ruin my career like it, Batman ruined Adam West. That this is just good. People aren't going to take it seriously because it's a comic book character. It's a cartoon strip character, but they convinced him to do it, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Well, I do know. I will say this about the Buck Rogers TV show. I loved the first season. The second season was
Yeah.
And from what everybody said, Gil Gerard got really upset with the direction that how they changed it in the second because it literally became everything he was afraid it was going to become.
I can't. I don't quote me on this, but I seem to have a recollection that they weren't even going to bring back Aaron Gray.
Yeah, he fought
And
that.
he fought for, he said, all right, well, if you don't bring back Aaron, I'm not coming back either. And
Yeah.
so while her role was seriously diminished and altered, he kept her on that series.
Yep. And yep. Okay, tonight we're gonna have to start wrapping it up so we don't overstep on Tony's stream. So if everybody's can do it, I want to do a special where we just talk about Christmas and what it means to us.
That sounds good.
All right.
I'm there.
Yeah. That's a young topic that we love.
Before we lead out, Greg Biffle was the other person that he died today in a plane crash with his family. I know his wife was in there. If I remember right, somebody said one of his kids was there.
They were there, unfortunately.
And
I heard there were 7 total.
So
terrible news, awful.
And he was a big hero here in Western North Carolina when the hurricane hit. He flew his helicopter in and out from Statesville where the crash occurred, all the way back and forth to plucking people off of mountaintops that had no way out, completely cut off. So this is real sad.
Isn't he the one they tried to shut down for doing that too?
Yes.
Oh, there were several. Yeah. Actually, Biffle's helicopter did fly over that house because I know that helicopter. They were unique.
Yep, and he was a good person who this world is a sadder place without him in it. And it's breaking my heart, but yeah, I'm going to ask everybody for a moment of silence. And so let's give our moment of silence, and here we go. May God be with each and every one that needs it right now, because at this point, there's 3 families that are missing someone. And at this time of the year, that hits even harder. So let's send as much good vibes that we can. If you don't believe it, in the power of prayer, send good vibes. Now, since we're wrapping up, go ahead and put our banner up about we need to be. Today's episode, we opened it up with the 48 hours of chaos and terror, proving my statements that we need to be a positive change in this world. This world needs a lot more love in it. And the only way we're going to be able to change this world and make it a better place is by actually going out there and doing something about it. Let's be that positive change that we want to see. Siggy, Siggy.
That's his answer to everything.
He says Christmas, a day when we can festively push a beautiful red button that has tinsel around it. Then the greatest gift will be given humanity freedom.
Siggy, what did I say before? What did I say about it 20 minutes ago? You keep your shiny red button to yourself, mister.
Bad Siggy.
Pushing that button. If that squeak gets loose, that's going to screw up all my plans for Earth. Okay?
Yep.
You keep your shiny red button to yourself, mister.
Yeah, you know, Siggy, even I would be out of work after a point because you'd be killing off everybody, and there'd be nothing left for me to do once I got them all.
Yep. Now, back to my list head out spiel. Let's please be that positive change. Yes, let's laugh in the face of adversity. Let's buckle down and do the right thing. Help people that are in need. And yes, Sigu, we do love you, even though we do think you're kind of crazy. I mean, damn. He's a little green pervy in a little fishbowl, man. Come on.
Yeah, and you know how I feel sorry for all the poor women he's going to get to buy those cheap robes. They fall apart. They're invisible the first time you use them.
Yep. But let us be the positive change we want to see in the world. Let's be an example to others. Let our good acts inspire others. Let's communicate with each other. Let's share the things we love. Let us show our humanity to one another. Because, in all honesty, this world needs a hell of a lot more love in it. There's just too much pain, too much heartbreak, too much despair. There is too much anger and hatred and vitriol in the world right now. And there's only one way that we can stop it. And that's with love, with kindness and compassion. We must stand for what we believe in. And that's telling good stories. That's entertaining people. That's inspiring people to be better than what they are right now. That's why pop culture was so important. It inspired us to be better. So go with God, go with love, and let's make this world a better place. And remember, you are not alone. And you are most definitely loved. Because I know for a fact I love each and every one of you. Even you, Siggy. Even you. Everybody, have a happy Hanukkah and a very Merry Christmas. And know this. You're loved.